A quiet Labor Day on Buckeye Lake, just a couple of days after yet another algae bloom advisory from the state. But if you ask people who play and work here on the lake, they say they don't want to hear about the algae.
Bacon goes on both these. It's 2 kids' pancakes.
Sandy Foster works the grill at her restaurant like a woman possessed.
Scrambled with cheese gets hash.
How busy was her summer?
You see it just like this all summer.
When I asked if algae advisories on the lake kept customers away, she looked at me as if I had said a dirty word.
No.
This is the 5th advisory issued for Buckeye Lake this summer. On this Labor Day, the lake was quiet, with just a few sailboats, some fishermen, and a guy taking his boat out for the season. The Licking County Convention and Visitors Bureau was so concerned visitors were staying away, they held an informational session in July.
We need the word to be out to the general public that the lake is open and it's clean and it's healthy.
Paul Sanzone and his friends come to Buckeye Lake every weekend and have for a long time.
Many years.
He thinks folks got that message.
I don't think anyone didn't come. I think people were concerned, but I think from a health perspective, I don't think we saw anything or heard of anything that was at all an issue.
Sandy says it was a great summer business-wise.
Actually, not any different. I've done great in the 5 years I've been here.
Whether that's perception or reality, lake dwellers are hoping for even smoother waters next summer. At Buckeye Lake, I'm Tom Bosco, ABC6 News. Bridgewater Banquet Center wants to plan an event to remember. The reception there Friday night won't soon be forgotten, mostly for the display the sheriff says this woman put on. 30-year-old Stephanie Robinette made her first appearance in court today. Witnesses say she was so drunk and belligerent that she hit her husband in the face 3 times and kicked him in the crotch. The father of the bride just happened to be a Delaware County sheriff's deputy, and he called for backup. Prosecutors say when the cops got there, things got worse.
He asked for her identification. She told him to go relieve himself.
Deputies say that's when she locked herself in her car. Then deputies say she exposed one of her breasts, sprayed the car with breast milk, and even sprayed the deputies. They arrested her and put her in a cruiser, but Robinette had one parting shot. She tried to kick the windows out before finally passing out.
I just want to apologize for this incident that occurred on Friday.
Today in court, she pleaded not guilty to a stack of misdemeanor charges, but also apologized. She was released without a cash bond, but is not allowed to drink or have any contact with her husband.
I take these charges very seriously, and I absolutely intend to seek help.
I caught up with Mr. Robinette, but he didn't want to stop and talk. In Delaware, I'm Tom Bosco, ABC6 News. Marion County Sheriff Tim Bailey has 2 new police vehicles, ones you won't see on the road. The federal government gave him these 2 helicopters. Now Bailey has 4 in all and doesn't want to give them up. Bailey is one of 3 pilots on his staff. He took the stick and took me for a ride.
Clear? Okay, we're going to come up here.
One of the Marion County helicopters was called into service a few weeks ago to look for a missing 94-year-old Lima man with Alzheimer's.
I'd like to believe they would have found him that day, but we found him within 15 minutes. He was in fairly good shape. He was dehydrated, but I would hate to think what would have happened had he spent another night out there.
There's no question that the helicopters are a useful tool for law enforcement, but one big question is how the Marion County Sheriff's Department could pay for both of them.
I can cite over the years a number of lives that we've actually saved. It is a piece of equipment that any law enforcement agency would like to have.
The answer may be to share the cost of the helicopters with other agencies. Bailey's working on an agreement with the Buckeye State Sheriff's Association to share costs and share the use.
Where we could put these aircraft to use in different parts of the state.
Put to use uncovering drugs, chasing bad guys, or finding the missing, all with an eye in the sky. Over Marion, I'm Tom Bosco, ABC6 News. Nothing ever happens on Judy Justice's street in Whitehall.
No, not usually. This is a pretty quiet corner.
That is, until this barrel appeared on Tuesday.
They took it off the back of their trailer, and I thought, man, that sure is heavy.
A guy mowing area lawns left what looked like a 55-gallon drum. For 2 days it sat until someone noticed it leaking this morning, and then it started stinking. but Judy didn't smell it.
No, I didn't smell it.
And Judy should be lucky she didn't. I got a whiff. It smelled like a dumpster on a hot summer day. Firefighters cautiously approached the barrel, but was Judy nervous?
I wasn't. I don't know.
So what did these hazmat-suited experts find inside?
Corn. Said it was corn.
Turns out this is a deer feeder. Hunters use it to attract the animals. After Columbus firefighters gave the all clear, city crews got it out of there, but not before getting a bit too close.
Whoa! And they did. Yeah. That's one of them make your eyes water deals.
An out of the ordinary morning on a usually quiet street.
No, I just wondered why he put it there, but I didn't wonder what was in it.
In Whitehall, I'm Tom Bosco, Fox 28 News.
$3.7 trillion or 3,700
Republican intransigence is pushing us towards a default.
Certainly not.
While many of them are claiming that
the United States will pay its bills.
Both sides are blathering on about the debt ceiling and using the C word.
Cuts.
What is the debt ceiling? To get an answer, I went where cuts aren't necessarily a bad thing.
It's essentially like defaulting on the commitments to pay back the line of credit.
That's a pretty good explanation from a guy I ambushed in a barber's chair.
I'm winging this.
Your 401k is probably doing better now, but remember 2008?
Oh yeah, well, that was clearly a disaster.
That could happen again.
And the one thing that investors hate is uncertainty.
Financial advisor Brad Huffman says Wall Street will freak out if the deadline for a deal passes. But how you'll be affected depends on when you retire.
If you're 20, 30, or even 40 years old, this is probably not going to be an issue for you. But if you're at or near retirement and you're sitting on an all-stock portfolio, I would be very worried.
Others who should be worried, those receiving Social Security, government employees, and borrowers who could see interest rates rise. Alarm system salesman Chris Ebert says he doesn't want to see a return to 2009's economy.
When the economy is in a panic, they go into saving mode, and when people are in saving mode, sales go down.
Most think there will be a deal, but not before a lot of political posturing.
That's a stupid idea.
he is basically standing in the way.
That's exactly what Eric Whitney says he's sick of.
I'm acting like babies, essentially, and not just getting to the point of, coming up with a solution to this problem.
In Delaware, I'm Tom Bosco, ABC 6 News.
Yeah, I will.
She's done some crazy things for her students.
I had to kiss a pig, so I did that, and that wasn't probably as cool as this is going to be.
Not as cool and not as dangerous.
Would you do it if you had a chance? I'm afraid of heights. I get motion sick. So am I. So I want to step outside my comfort zone.
For Marion Harding principal Carol Bebout, that means stepping into thin air.
I'm going to jump out of an airplane.
That's why she's getting nervous words of encouragement from students.
I will, thank you. They came and said, can we use your field? I said, sure. They said, do you want to go with us? And I said, why not? So I'm going to.
So now Carol waits for her ride at the Marion Airport. After suiting up, she prepares for a tandem jump.
So on go, you're going to go from here to here.
I feel great. I am very excited. I'm not nervous at all.
She's aloft, climbing to 10,000 feet to deliver the game ball for tonight's Marion Harding football game and to teach her students a life lesson.
The kids need to know that too, because as they go through life, there are going to be a lot of scary things they face, and they need to say, I'm going to give it a chance.
It's crazy. She's scared of heights, so I'm excited for her to do it.
Feet on the ground, ball delivered, fears conquered.
It was incredible. The most amazing experience I've ever had in my life.
Mission accomplished. In Marion, I'm Tom Bosco, ABC 6 News. A bride and groom, their wedding interrupted by a chemical spill. Graduation day spoiled. The undead, jerking, growling, searching for victims. Delaware overrun by zombies.
But really, zombies haven't taken over Delaware. This is just an exercise being put on by the County Emergency Management Agency to test disaster preparedness. Or is it?
It really is a drill, with more than 200 volunteers playing the zombies, some rising early to do their makeup.
7:30 this morning. I spent most of my time doing him, and then we just kind of threw mine together really fast.
In this simulation, a tanker full of chemicals leaks. The victims succumb to fumes and turn into zombies. The point of the simulation for first responders, contain the threat and decontaminate the victims.
EMA 210, EMA 21.
While the victims restlessly wander inside Ohio Wesleyan's Selby Stadium, it took firefighters some extra time to try and rescue them.
They need to move a little quicker.
Firefighters struggled to identify the chemical and how to neutralize it, taken off guard during the simulation.
You know it's coming, but whenever you actually show up and you see it, that's another thing.
Finally, the decontamination unit shows up. Firefighters move quickly to get the zombies an initial decontamination.
They're going to spray people going through it while they're waiting for the rest of the decon unit to show up and get set up.
Zombies walked under a massive shower, then over to the health department to get medication and further decontamination. It was the largest simulation Delaware agencies have been through. How did they do? Supervisors say responders need to move more quickly.
The speed, coming to decisions quickly, going with it, and then trying to help people as quickly as you can.
This bird is about to be stuffed on her favorite treat, a slice of bread. Or on her other favorite, dog food. But she's not going to be slaughtered, roasted, or deep fried. She's one of the special turkeys that Mindy Mallett and Carol Williamson saved from the table.
This is this year's rescue. This is Hilda.
Hilda was found on Craigslist. Esther was rescued last year. Both of them get special privileges.
And they all come in at night, and they sleep in the house.
The house is also known as Sunrise Sanctuary, a nonprofit for rescued and abused animals.
We have a steer, name's Wesley. We have 2 horses. 2 old horses, 2 llamas.
Along with chicks, ducks, geese, plenty of cats, and more. Everyone plays nicely with one another, except for one very aggressive duck. Ouch! Are the animals better off here?
Danny, the Belgian draft horse, he would have been off to the glue factory. Now Wesley would have been veal. They just come here and do as they please and live out the rest of their lives. They go where they want, there's plenty of food, what more could they want?
Tomorrow, around here, when they say the bird is on the table, it's going to have an entirely different meaning.
To us, it'd be the same as eating a dog.
Thanksgiving at Sunrise Sanctuary, just another day. Another day in the long lives of Hilda and Esther. In Union County, I'm Tom Bosco, ABC6 News. Doesn't look much different than most cars on the road, but it sure does sound different. Put the key in and turn on my ABC6 Subaru, and you get that familiar sound. But you don't even put a key into the Nissan Leaf.
It's on. I just turned it on for you, Tom.
And the engine is silent. Unlike my car, there's no tailpipe and no emissions. But the biggest difference you'll notice is when you pull up to the pump.
There's nowhere to put this.
In fact, you'll never pull into a gas station again with the Leaf. Instead, you plug it in. But the question is where?
Walgreens just made an announcement they're putting in 800 around the United States. Cracker Barrel, Whole Foods, Best Buy, some hotel chains are doing it.
The other big question, how far will it go before you need a charge? The display shows how many miles you have left before the battery dies. A full charge gets you 100 miles.
I drive about 40 miles a day. And that's just on a normal day.
Helios Yu stopped by OSU's Center for Automotive Research to check out the Leaf, which retails around $35,000. He drives a Nissan Altima now.
It's about 30 miles to the gallon.
He'd love to get into the new electric, but that 100-mile range is his biggest concern.
I would still need a long-range vehicle at home for when we gotta either haul stuff or we have to go on a road trip or something.
It's futuristic, but whether it's the future of cars remains to be seen. I'm Tom Bosco, ABC6 News.